I'm getting a phone notification that Cindy's iPhone is joined, but I don't see you in the meeting. I don't see Cindy's iPhone. Well, how did that happen? Ah, scared the heck out of me.
Sorry.
All right, Cynthia's not joining us. She's joining us by Zoom, apparently.
So
She hasn't gotten on yet. And Chase said he was going to try to come. So.
couple things. Well, but we can go through this when it's
Okay. Yeah.
but there's landscape one and the stucco whatever,
Okay.
and I may have other places, but that's why I wanted you to look at that as well. What's that?
Something's off with your map.
If you 300
Number
east.
5.
What's that?
It was number 5.
Maybe a number of wrong. So if you go
I think
300.
Chase is 1.
Oh,
I think
is he
Chases
one?
are 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can fix that.
I was confused. I was like, I don't live on the end. I wish I did because I'd love to have that open window on the end to light up the bathroom. Yeah, let's see if this one.
Comes and he's interested in that. You can look at the map as well.
Um,
Just playing on Zoom.
um, not lots.
You are testing out for people.
Mm-hmm.
Are these things you're testing for people?
No, this is just my refreshments.
Oh, okay.
So,
No, I
there's some
know.
cold stuff in the fridge.
I've never seen the Dr. Pepper Zero.
Oh no, the whiskey was something I tested. I had to do a review on.
You have a Dr. Pepper Zero?
Um, yep. There. I don't know if they sat too long. I'm not tasting all the flavor that I'm used to tasting of it. Those are the cherry.
Cherry. Sometimes on diet, if they sit too long, then they. This is supposed to be that fancy.
Yeah. Zoom. Are you Cindy's iPhone?
Yep, that's me.
All right, all right, let's call this meeting to order. We got the agenda. Cynthia, do you have the agenda?
I got the agenda, but the one you sent me was for
I sent
a
you
different. You sent me a new one? Okay, let me grab it.
All right. Financial reports. We still have that $6,200 bank error. So here's a liability. But it's gone up $26.25 in interest. So I'm going to leave it and not say anything. And when they decide to take the $6,200 back out, we've got the interest, maybe. I don't know. But I've got it listed on balance as a liability. Our current, so without that, we're at 2325 in the account. With it, we're at 8,000 and who is that?
Yeah, that's what I see.
Things always print in a weird way that I don't tell them to print. 8,000 something with that. It's actually that 23, 25, 26 is the actual balance. So our income is what I'm looking for. Was our P&L?
It was like 5,000 something. Let's go there.
So our total intake was with that 6,200 was 7644. Oh, okay. So part of what happened, we have internal accounts in the accounting software, and when we set it up, I created the wrong account for something called deposits in transit. And there's a whole category of funds in transit that deposits have to live in. And when you reconcile, it finds those into the bank account. So what happens is if somebody writes me a check and I deposit that, it counts that deposit. But then if I also credit their invoice, it counts it twice. So by putting into that deposit account, it cancels it out. But I had them in the wrong account. So I had to transfer all those funds over. It was about 6,000 some dollars. And now it is worked correctly. So that's what that is. But we overall, we did about $1,500 this month of above our expenses. The only two that we have outstanding is Scott has one that, so he just paid one, but he already has one. And then Stephen and Diane Ellis, those are our only outstanding right now.
Those are the only things still owe.
Yeah, and Steve will usually come along and go, whoops, I forgot, here it is. So, but he usually has done that by now. So I finally figured out the solar panels and can get those installed. I'm going to try to do that next week. This week's been insane. But both cameras are down. They don't have batteries in them. They're just getting traffic for the batteries to handle. So I have the solar panels and I know how to make them work now. That took a little more work than I anticipated. We have our annual meeting that's coming up next month, and we need to do mail out invites, and I take care of that. So we got to include a proxy in there, and since we're doing board elections, we also want to include board nominations, and I want to ask for RSVPs on that so that I know how many people are coming. So if we can fit them, I can fit 25 people in the studio, but if we're going to have more than that, then I kind of want to know so we can make other arrangements. And that's pretty much all I have. VP, stucco repairs and stone replacement.
Stucco repairs will be next week. Eduardo has been working out of town, but he said after this week, he plans to be for sure next week.
Okay.
I have the
map,
and I've marked I marked the siding to 13 and 14. I numbered some of them wrong, but I'll get that fixed on my master copies. The repair on 1, and then 2, and 2 has 1. I guess it's actually on 1 because it's on the above the garage, or it might be no, it's on 2. Above the garage on 2, there's some damage right above the garage.
And that's stucco.
That's all stucco, and then the siding up there. And I was gonna take a little closer walk just to make sure to X off. If there's anywhere else on there that you're aware of right offhand.
So my understanding is we're not responsible for fixing siding.
I wouldn't think so.
So do we have him fix it and then bill the owners? Unfortunately, that 1413 is like right in the middle.
It is.
It's so it kind of would be both units. And that's why I'm kind of inclined that we do it instead of trying to get 2
He's on board
property
for it,
owners.
so whatever, however you want to do that. I talked to Eduardo about it. He said, yes, I will do.
We do it and then bill each one half of that.
We need to make them aware first, give them the option to.
I don't want to because I don't want to try to get 2 property owners to coordinate with somebody to get out there and fix it because it may never get done.
Right.
Or one will argue that this was too much. You know,
right.
I think we just fix it, and bill them for. It's not going to be a lot.
I would hope not.
It's 1 piece of siding.
Unless there's some that's above and below and
There's broken off. Yeah.
matching it up. And
I don't know. What say you?
I would look at the CCNRs. I thought that it would just say the exterior maintenance of the building was covered by the HOA. And does it specifically exclude the siding or?
No, I
why?
think the unit.
I'm just wondering why the HOA wouldn't cover the siding.
Because it's part of the unit. We only cover the yard.
I thought it covered the exterior maintenance of the building, like the stucco and.
Living
Paint.
units shall mean and refer
Lighting.
to a structure on any lot which is designed and intended for use and occupancy as a single family residence, together with all improvements located on the lot concerned which are used in connection with such residence. That's the definition of the unit. Front yard area shall mean and refer to the yard area of each living unit extending from the street to the front line of the living unit, or as otherwise deemed or described by legal description on each lot or living unit. Some judgments, let's see. That's if it isn't fixed, we go fix it. Oh, notwithstanding provisions regarding lot, except the front yard area and living unit maintenance by owners, in the event an owner of any lot in the property shall fail to maintain his lot in the exterior of his living unit situated thereon in a manner satisfactory to the Architectural Control Committee or the board, the association, after approval by 2/3 vote of the board, shall have the right, through its agents, employees, or through an independent contractor, to enter upon his lot and repair, maintain, and restore the portion of the lot maintainable by the owner and the exterior of his living unit and any other improvements erected thereon, but not the interior of his living unit. The cost of such exterior maintenance shall be added to and become part of the assessment to which each lot is subject. So they're responsible for it, but we can fix it, and it becomes part of their dues. But that specifically mentions if they fail to do it, being that it's a joined, it's overlapping 2 units. I'd rather we fix it and just pass the bill on to them.
Yeah, I think the issue is if we don't, in my opinion, I just think that we want to keep things as consistent as possible. So what happens is if you have all these property owners fixing these things by different people, then, it doesn't match up. It might not be the same product. Just trying to keep the integrity of the complex.
They're required to have it match up, but being that it's a joint, it's an overlapping of 2 units, I would think we fix it and bill them for it. That's my proposal.
We're supposed to have an architectural board, and so that would be their responsibility and everything, but since
or the board,
yeah, somebody needs to do something. I don't know, but we can't just let it not be fixed, right?
well, and if we don't fix it, it's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse. That's right. And then it becomes more expensive to fix. It's kind of where things have gone in here. So I don't think, but why don't we just, it's going to cost whatever it's going to cost to fix it.
Yeah. It's not going to be much. I bet it would be under $100.
Well,
without looking at the other pieces of siding, but if it's just that one piece, I think it's going to be around $100. So like Chase has some broken siding on his units,
Yeah, he does.
but they're not combined with other units. So that's for him to fix. Where this is 2 units where they,
That's
you know,
right in the front
join.
of both of them.
yeah. It's,
So we just split it in half.
so
What are
yeah,
the costs, right?
that's why I'm saying we get involved. If it was just one unit, I'd say go
Okay.
fix it. But being that it's the 2 units combined. So I make a motion that we fix the siding, split the bill in half and send it to each of them.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
I
All right. Stones.
Stones, so I walked the property with Jason. I don't have, right now, I mean, I have dimensions on every little piece of grass.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, on the very top of 400 East, where you see where the tree is.
Mhm.
So we figured that out, went through it. If it's 1-inch rock, we use 19 cubic yards. If it's half-inch rock, we use 15 cubic yards. Anything bigger than 1 inch, it's gonna take him different equipment to put in. So
Okay.
he's saying half, 3/4, or 1 is what he would recommend, because it's easy to walk over.
Yeah, I like smaller
Yeah,
because you don't get kids picking it up and throwing it in cars.
right.
Yeah, I like that.
So then, the other thing he mentioned when we were back there by the willow tree is, I don't remember the guy's name that's in mind.
Lee,
Lee had come out when he was doing something and said, hey, can we just turn this lawn into a community garden? And that would be something that could be brought up at the big meeting. Like if there's
the one by the mailboxes.
the one, yeah, where the willow tree is.
I think that would be a bit of a problem just because of the mechanical stuff that's under there, and also the mailboxes and the hydrant.
The hydrant's on the other lawn.
Oh, he just wants just that half?
I don't know. He mentioned that to Jason. Jason whispered it to me in case he was outside. And I said, well, I'll mention it. And then when we have our meeting next month, that's something that could be brought up. Who's going to take care of it? How's it, it wouldn't be something that would be planted this year, but instead of doing rock, we leave soil in that one. One thing he did suggest on the tree, looking at it, it would be quite simple to take down. You literally could chop a big branch down, it's going to fall in the parking lot, do nothing to you, and just keep taking one branch at a time, and then chopping it in smaller pieces and hauling it off. He said,
Is that something Jason can
as we were
do?
looking at it, he said, yeah, I think we could do this. And I'm like, I could bring our big truck over here too. And, we could put these big branches on it and haul it to the dump.
How about just tearing the whole tree out?
Well, that's what we would do. The way that it's, if you look at it, there's a big branch that comes into the parking lot. If you just cut that off, it's going to take a big chunk of the tree off. There's so many of them that's not going to hit anything. So it would really be, it wouldn't be as, it
Other
looks
than
big.
getting up there.
It's really not even that high where you have to start, if you chop. I think you took a chainsaw. We were looking at it and it looked easier than I would have imagined. But he said he could get a price to take that down himself, or if he feels
You'd
like
have to
we need
grind
have-
that stump out of there.
And
Or
he
at
said,
least
if we're
separate
gonna
it
do
from the
rocks with it,
roots.
get it taken down, make sure that it's killed, and then it put a, just to give some variation in the rocks, you could do a little bit of a hill right there instead of taking it.
Or throw a boulder on top of it. My
something just
concern
to-
is we have to go around it, cut those roots,
Yeah, you
or
have
it's
to,
gonna continue spreading to the parking lot.
it's already in it.
Yeah, it's uneven. So
He suggested too that the tree that is in the park, it's a trash tree that was never planted, but he said if you got up in it and you could really trim it out you probably want to hire somebody that has, equipment on that. but trim some of it down and you could make it look like a really nice tree.
Yeah. I like the shade there over the
Yeah.
dumpster, but it is getting a little overgrown. So these are mainly things I want to have for us at the annual meeting to discuss. Cynthia, were you able to find out if we're qualified for that grant program?
So I have the application, and Cedar City is qualified. And
Yeah,
so you just turn the application in, and it's like a 120-day wait time frame. And I believe it's $1.30 per square foot that they reimburse you for that. But they did make it very clear that you don't want to just kill your grass and then do it and then apply for it. So we have to, I would imagine that once you apply for it, they're going to send somebody out to take a look at it, and then they give you,
yeah.
get the A-OK on it.
The question is, do PUDs qualify for that?
Well, we do, because our PUD is in Cedar City.
So we know for certainty that PUDs qualify for this grant program?
Yes, the issue is just that, it would have to be everything. I don't know what they're gonna say, because I think we want to keep the park, right?
Yeah.
And then replace everything else. And so generally speaking, what they do is they take the whole amount of shared property, and then, it's based off of square foot, because they asked for the square foot, but they have all of that on the tax records. So
So Jim mentioned that businesses are not eligible. And that's where, I know we're not a business, but where we are not just a single home.
Yeah.
He wondered if we individually would have to say, I would like to replace my lawn and have, Trevor and Wes do the same thing with theirs. And
Well, I'm more concerned about the common areas. The
Right.
2 lawns on the side, above the dumpster, by the mailboxes.
So
cases
all
that-
of that is, so it's all, we all own a part of it. We all own a share of it. So it would have to be something that everybody voted on in the complex,
But I just want to make sure that as a PUD, we are eligible. Because
As
we're
far as
not,
I know, that's what they explained. I mean, I asked them specifically because I said, I can give you my unit address, but it isn't just for my house, it's for the whole complex. And so there's a different tax ID number. So remember when you paid the taxes, we paid for the shared land that we
Right.
all share, and that's the area that would be eligible for it.
I'm not exactly sure. They've got 2 lots, and I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look at the plats. to
Yeah.
see
One
where
of
those-
them is the park, and that actually helps us because I think we want to keep the park the way it is. I don't know why they have it set up so the park is actually attached to those 2 big houses that Chase owns, and then all the other little spots are a separate tax ID number. I don't know.
Weird.
That's how they did it.
All right, well, I want to bring this to the full meeting, to the annual membership meeting with some kind of hard
A
and
little more
fast.
meat to it. Let's see if we can get some detailed information between now and how about
I say
we
about the application, because we don't have to pull the trigger on it just because we're approved.
right. No, but we just want to have an idea, and if we're getting everybody together, it's a good thing to talk about and vote on, because it has to still go through. I mean, they have an application, they have to approve it. It's going to take time, but if everybody is at the annual meeting, then we can talk about it, and if everybody's in favor of it, then we move forward with it when the time comes.
Yeah, but let's do the application now, so that maybe we do get it approved by then, and we can say, hey, this is approved. This is how much money we're going to get to cover, to offset the expense of doing this.
Yeah, and that goes into the capital improvement area.
What? The savings in water, dear God.
Honestly,
Right,
like the two sections that are the biggest are on 400 South.
Yeah,
Those,
those two
and
arms.
then when we looked at it, you can see that the grade is going right to the units.
Yeah.
So he had suggested, you know, I said, we gotta get that water away from there, have some type of a good drainage if we put the rock in there. Down, you know, kind of get right to the middle so that it. that
Drains
all-
out toward the street.
Yeah, otherwise we'd have to dig a ton of it out by the street. And
Yeah.
It becomes a hazard,
So-
but
if we replace it with rock and that creates the drainage, then that will help us with our settling issues, and then we can, because I just didn't feel comfortable moving forward with the pavement. I mean, I know we don't have the funds to do it, but even just to plan for it, why, you know, it's an expense, and then we end up with all these drainage problems that still exist. So I think we're on the right track with
Well,
putting
that
in
was
the
one of the
rock.
reasons- That was one of the reasons for getting all of those pavement holes filled, because that was allowing water underneath the pavement and washing out even worse.
Yeah,
back in- You know,
and then it's
Uh,
just bubbling
that's
up, you know?
each
So-
of us do is to have a report for the full membership for our areas.
so I will get a sample or something of 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch maybe, or
Yeah, I don't want to go
rock.
1 inch. That's too big.
1 inch is kind of what we have like up by the mailbox.
Yeah.
And
That's roll your ankle rock.
roll your ankles for sure in front of Tammy's old unit.
Yeah.
And that's great because it's takes a lot of the water and it's
And I'm not worried about matching anything else in the
Okay.
unit. I would like everything that we do to match.
so that's the next question
Right.
is all of the in front of mine we have the planter areas.
Right.
We want to make those uniform with the rock behind,
Everything that we do should be the same rock.
change the rock in front of yours, change
No.
the rock, no? Just get something that's similar to yours, all of them,
Just-
just something that
There-
matches. and-
there's so much dissimilar rock inside.
Yeah.
Let that be each unit owner's individual preference and
Okay,
what they like. But everything that we're doing, all the areas that we're pulling up and have that all be the same.
Yeah.
that area that's behind the dump is actually fairly good size too.
Yeah,
So if we just take away some of the common areas first, that we don't
yeah, I mean,
use the,
I would do Chase's yard.
Yeah.
And the strip out front. The area by the mailboxes. The grass on the sides of 12 and 13. And
and the dumpster.
the one on, behind the dumpster, and then the one on 300 East.
So the other thing that he pointed out on the one on 300 East, it already, he said, expense of doing, the asphalt is going to be big.
Yeah.
And who knows if that's 1 year, 5 years, whatever down the road. He said if you were to take a 4-foot strip or 3-foot or whatever and do concrete and get 2% grade from by the dumpster, it has, like, it's deep. When we walked out, I didn't realize how deep. It already has a natural slope in that grass. And we could drain it without going out into the streets easily in that.
If we put
In that area.
concrete on it,
If we just did a strip of concrete, like, kind of like there is in by Chase's, where it has the big, metal,
the grate.
grate. But if we don't need to do a grate, if we just started right there where it always pools right by the dumpster
Uh-huh.
and had a concrete thing, just go kind of down, not necessarily the center, it could even be closer to the units. And then drain into on that lawn area. It was pretty remarkable how much you could see that it sloped. And right there by the apartments that are right behind it, it almost goes flat, that it would naturally drain to the road. I could walk it and show you what he had talked to me about, but
But is that part of this project, or is that
It-
way in the future?
well, he he just suggested that if we ever wanted to look at,
Well, if we ever do the parking lot, we're gonna have to look at some drainage options with some cement
but we
diverters.
can't, well, yeah, and you can't do a slope like that. You can't do a curb
Right.
with asphalt. So if we're,
No, you have to put
if
cement
it's
in.
not very expensive to
Yeah.
do it now, and it's something we wanted to look at,
Because one of the things I wanted to look at if we ever do the asphalt is putting in some box culverts
Oh,
over
for
the
sure.
main water lines. So they don't get broken again.
Yeah.
So big concrete box culverts with steel grid on top. So that we can just pull that grid up, fix the thing, put the grid back down, and we don't have to dig into
Right.
the asphalt and everything else. So that would be kind of the same thing. I was looking at doing down the center here, just a V, just kind of a slight V
it would go right into the,
to the drain.
yeah, the one
Yeah.
that's in parallels with Jason's.
But for this project,
No, that was just something he suggested to try to get the drainage to go
yeah,
onto the lawn where it looks like it was kind of intended to do, but then
the lawn here,
in the front, yeah. If you look, I hadn't ever gotten, it has, you could look and he said, I'll bet this already has the 2% slope from, and it's missing some curb area right there by the big pine tree.
why can't we just take it out into the street?
Well, it's because it climbs again.
Oh,
So because that's low area, it just naturally would
it wouldn't
right.
drain on rock?
It would. Oh, it would. We could
I'd like to
rock
get
in
rid
there.
of all of our water expense. We
Yeah.
had a $2,000 water bill this
No, it absolutely
month.
will drain in rock, but he's was just saying in that grass area, it already has a slope, and we have the trees there, so he said where the trees are, he would just hook onto the sprinkler system, cap everything off, and run some drip around the trees to keep them alive. I don't think we want to just chop down.
No, but a
All our
lot,
trees.
if the trees are big enough, they already get, their roots are deep enough that you don't need to water them. It's like trees in the wild. Nobody's watering them, you know?
No,
once
the only issue with the trees having the roots, or they're breaking our water lines, and then we get an expensive bill because we don't know that there's, something broken in someone's backyard, for instance, and
Yeah,
then
there's
it's in
no
our
water
house to
from there to
settle. and
break.
It's just terrible.
There's no water lines down there to break. Other than sprinkler lines, but we're gonna rip all those out, or at least shut them off.
Well, if we just turn them off, yeah.
So, yeah, can you put all that together for,
So you do not want to leave, like where I have some.
well, let's
vegetation.
give the membership options
Okay.
and get their input, but let's have those options that
If we had just a little bit of drip to run to a couple plant, where we said, maybe we want to put a little shrub or whatever, just to give it some, break it up so that it's not so just rock and.
Yeah, I'm
It
so
would be-
over, especially with these new water rates and how much
Oh, yeah.
water we use. Our water bill's about double. And, yeah, so I don't wanna water anything. I'd rock the park. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't use it. I don't wanna pay for it, but some people like it. And but let's give them options to
Yeah.
discuss.
Okay.
Gerardo is here. What's up, brother?
Yay, finally made it on.
He's muted. All right, so yeah, I want each of us in our departments to have a report to give to the membership. And Cynthia, I can do the financial, or if you want to, we can sit down together and go over it. Because I
Yeah,
know
I
you
think we should I think you and I should get together about 2 weeks before the meeting sometime, and then just make sure we have what we need. And I'll work on getting some numbers and some more answers with the water application, water saving application.
Yeah, I want to know for 100% certainty that PUDs are qualified for that program.
Yeah, I do too. I
'Cause
mean,
know
they
that-
just said to send in the application and that they'll get back to us and that kind of thing. And I said, well, it'd be nice if we knew already. I'll keep working on it.
the only new business is we're continuing to see people dumping, unauthorized dumping. We had a bunch of Chase's tenants break up some big wooden furniture and fill the dumpster up with it.
Yep.
If it was Monday or if it was last Friday, I'd be really inclined to send the bill. But tomorrow's trash day. I think we're
I guess the issue with the trash all became about, it sucks because you put a sign up and now you have to do something about it, right? And as long as the trash guy is not complaining about emptying the trash or charging us extra, or as long as there's enough room for everybody in here to put their trash in the dumpsters, hands were taken away. It's sort of a moot point. It's like the trailers and cars and all that stuff that are parked in the parking spots. We don't care unless it becomes an issue. So the
Right.
issue is when the trash man comes out and he won't lift it, or it's either too full for everybody else to use. That's inconsiderate. And if it's too heavy for the trash man to lift, or they charge us extra for it. And that's where the sign came from. I
It's a
mean,
matter of the objects inside being too large to go into the compactor.
Or having to have it dumped twice.
or too
Yeah.
heavy, or just taking up more
This
trash
is
space
only
than everybody
past-
else. So
My feeling on this is we only pass that expense on if it's actually something we incur.
yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, we don't want to. This just makes it hard for us to have to manage people. Like somebody parked their car over here on the side of my house last night. I don't know why they can't read the sign. Nobody else parks in here on the curbs and things like that. They have street, they have parking spots a little bit further away to park in, but you're not supposed to park there. Well, what are we going to do about it? And then we have to govern it. That's all. It's just
Where did they park?
right on the corner in front of all the utility boxes next on the corner of my house. Just on the side. So
On
it
the
doesn't
driveway?
really, yes, and it doesn't really bother me. It's just that
If anybody's parking in the driveway, we're gonna have them towed.
yeah, but then you have to have them towed. And
Then
that's
I will
all I'm
have them
saying.
towed.
It's-
Nobody should be parking in the driveway.
They're
That's
not in my
that's-
driveway. They're in the
Right.
driveway of everybody because so there's two entrances over here on the east side, right? So he has the one in front of his garage blocked.
driveway.
Okay, so then the other driveway that everybody enters in and out of, that's closest to the side of my house, it was parked right on the corner there in front of all the utilities around the corner of my house.
So
And
was it blocked?
again, I don't really care, but it's not exactly safe. They're pretty nice cars, and I wouldn't want to see their car get towed. There's a sign right there on the corner that tells people not to park on the curbs in here. Or they'll be towed. So the sign is already up.
So was
So-
it parked in a way that it blocked traffic?
Well, yes, it's around the corner. So what the issue is, if they get used to parking there and we have one of our snow plows come flying down there, they're just gonna wipe that car out. They're not gonna see it because it's right around the corner. It's just not a safe place to be parking a car. But, we have parking spots and they should use the parking spots. I just
Yeah, I
don't want to
don't-
see it get used to
Utility
it.
box over there. Where are you talking about utility boxes?
It's on the corner of my house. So when you walk out the front door and you turn right, and then you turn right again, it's right there.
On the side of your house?
Yeah, where the power box and all that stuff's all connected. So, and they have meters out right there.
So attached to the side of your unit.
Yeah,
They were parked in front of that.
they're parked right on the side of it, right
Yeah,
there. I
that-
took a picture of it. I can show it to you. I took a picture of it.
That's
You
an
know-
automatic no right there.
Well, you know, I mean, like I said, you don't
Park it in
get
the
paid. You're
driveway.
not- well, there's places for them to park, and that's not a good place to park because we're, you know, everybody's coming in and out and around that corner. I mean, it's kind of a
Well,
blind spot.
Park in the middle of Main Street.
Yeah,
You getting out of my car and go shopping.
yeah, that's not gonna work.
It's a driveway. It's a roadway. It's not.
If it happens
Parking
again,
lot.
text me and I'll have them towed.
Yeah, I just didn't want to send it to you. I don't want to complain. It does, like I said, it doesn't bother me. The only thing that's gonna bother me is if somebody comes crashing through my unit. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But it's on
that's-
the other side of the wall. I don't
Get
see it. It's not in my
outdoor-
way, but you know, it's
Guards
just,
And
That's a two-lane road. Yeah, you
well,
can't.
it's because we can't get out on the other driveway that's in front of his garage. So that is the way that people come and go through there now. And parking a car there isn't a safe place to park a car.
No,
But
no.
he's got some nice cars over there. So he's got some good tenants. I just don't want to see them get in the habit of parking there or in other places
Time
that they,
happens, they're gonna lose their car. So
well,
they
we
won't
don't
get
want
into-
that stuff going. We don't want to have to deal with it either. So if we just set it down and tell them no, you
Well,
know.
park in the middle of the street. I'm telling you.
Well, it's all
That's
about habits, you know? And so the trash truck wouldn't be able to get through,
Yeah.
and that's tomorrow.
Fire
So if they do it
truck
again
wouldn't-
tonight,
Ambulance wouldn't be able to get through. No, not happening.
right. So,
I need to go back on something on my financial report. There's a charge on our account for 5309 from Amazon. I don't know what that is, and I don't see any. I went on my Amazon account. I didn't buy anything. Did anybody else buy anything from Amazon for 5309?
no, 5309. Nope. I haven't even spent any money on there because you're doing it. So I don't use it. The only thing I ever do is deposit or, you know,
I'll have
look
to
at,
go and file a dispute with Amazon because we didn't buy anything.
no, I don't think we bought anything. What the last thing we bought was cameras and
Yeah, I
Right?
know the panels, but that was 2 months
solar.
ago. This was a charge for August.
Yeah, I don't know what it before. Well, I'll check into it too. I mean, I try to just, I don't have access to the online banking like you do because you remember they only let one person do that. But I can go into the bank and get the statements and
You have access to banking. You have your own account.
I don't have a way to do it online with the app on my phone. Only one person. I checked with them about that.
Well,
So-
I set up an account. I sent you the password and the username. It's a separate account from the main one.
Okay. Well, I haven't used it for a long time, so I just felt like I didn't really have access. And if I want to, I mean, I have the debit card, so I can use that if needed. We have checkbook, you know, I have access to get the information by walking into the bank, and I ask for a transaction history. But you're doing the financials, so you know, I'm just kind of a backup.
I'll
Just-
follow up with Amazon to find out what it was, but I just wanted to ask and see if anybody had done it.
yeah,
Okay,
no,
so I don't think we have any action this meeting. Just preparation for the annual meeting next month.
Yeah.
so I don't know what day Eduardo will be coming. I'm having surgery on Thursday of next week.
Okay.
And he's in the hospital on Friday. So who can I
Just
have?
have me.
Have you contact
Yeah.
you? Okay.
as long as it's not Tuesday morning, I'm pretty open too. I mean, you know, even if we're not here, we're not far away, right? I mean, it doesn't take very long to get from one side of town to the other. 10 minutes. And plus, he just lives across the street from us. Just let him know he's going to get paid. He doesn't.
If he has questions or.
Yeah, just have him call me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gerardo, you got anything for us? There's a camera. There
Hello,
it is.
nothing. I mean, only the siding that came off over there on units 13 and 14. I don't know if I missed it.
Yeah,
Logged
we
in a
talked
little
about
late.
that. So what we decided to do is normally the owners would be responsible for their own siding. But because that's across two shared units, we're gonna go ahead and fix that and then bill the owners half, each one half. That way we don't have two different contractors trying to fix a common issue. So that's about the only thing we've decided on that. Eduardo's coming out next week, so we're just gonna have him do it.
And we felt that it would be under $100 probably. It's probably not that expensive.
Not gonna be much, unless there's more than just the piece that is obvious. But if we don't fix it, it's gonna get worse and water's gonna get in there and it's gonna become a problem, so. Plus, we got a unit for sale, which breaks my heart because I hate seeing the parts go.
It's sold. Well, I mean, it's under contract. So soon enough, we may have a new owner before the next meeting. We'll see. I
Yeah.
don't know when it's closing, but they just had their home inspection today, so it could happen in the next 30 days.
Well, they still got a for sale sign out there, so I'm still
It's
crossing my
gonna
fingers.
stay there until the end. Yeah, well,
They have to stay. All right.
well, anything could happen.
Anything else that we need to talk about? Good deal. I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I will
Second it.
that.
Thank you all for joining us. We'll see
Thank you.
When
Next
is the
one.
meeting? When is the?
I don't know.
Oh,
September.
the next meeting.
Last weekend of last Wednesday of
So we're having
September.
that's gonna be the big meeting with everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Last
right
Wednesday.
now it's going to be here unless, we get 50 people or something, and then we'll have to find another.
Now in the
venue.
park.
We can have it in the
So
park and have a
this-
bar. I like
Yeah,
that.
that sounds like fun. September 27th is the date, 7
Yeah,
p.m.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
I'll get those letters out next week to everybody and get them mailed.
okay.
All right. We'll see y'all later.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.